the number one issue that banks have with people? It's not the fact that they don't pay. They know some people are going to pay. Some people are going to pay on time. Some people are going to pay slow. Some people are going to pay extra. Some people are going to be behind. Some people are going to default. They get that. They already get that. So they want to make sure, hey, can we at least know that you're you? We would hate to be scammed. We would hate to be frauded out of money. Okay. So they're big on fraud alerts. Stop putting fraud alerts on your credit reports. Listen, you have to stop disputing every single thing on your credit report, and you got to stop doing stuff that's going to hurt your credit report later down the line. Let's talk about it. First things first, let's stop putting fraud alerts on our credit reports. Please stop doing this. Number one, it looks like you're scamming or something. It looks like you have fraud. Here's the deal. Identity theft has been a big deal for years, okay? So when you are putting fraud alerts on your credit report, that makes it look like you are not you. Let me ask you a question. If you were a bank and someone says, "Hey, I want to you that the person wants to borrow $5,000, 10,000, whatever that number is," right? And then you see that there's a fraud alert on that person's credit report. That's a red flag, guys. That means, can we trust this person? We already halfway trust you based on your credit score, okay? But at the same time, once people start doing all this craziness to try to do certain disputes or try to get certain credit wipes and all that, guys, number one is unnecessary, okay? So banks do not look at what is it called? Explanations. Like you guys, this was a big deal back in the day. People would put an explanation on their credit report. Do not put an explanation on your credit report. It does not help. It does nothing. Okay. It will not help you. When you are buying a house, they're not looking at that explanation. When you're buying a car, I'm telling you, the finance manager is not looking at that explanation. They don't need you to explain anything. They can see what this is. They can see what that is. Just because you put an explanation doesn't make anything better, okay? Especially when you have a fraud alert, because what's the number one issue that banks have with people? It's not the fact that they don't pay. They know some people are going to pay. Some people are going to pay on time. Some people are going to pay slow. Some people are going to pay extra. Some people are going to be behind. Some people are going to default. They get that. They already get that. So they want to make sure, hey, can we at least know that you're you? We would hate to be scammed. We would hate to be frauded out of money. Okay. So they're big on fraud alerts. Stop putting fraud alerts on your credit reports. You guys got to stop doing that stuff. I know you guys see these crazy people on YouTube telling y'all to just do anything. Okay. And I get it. You want results. Here, you know what people don't think about? How can I build around my negative items? How can I build around my negative items that I'm not able to get removed through my crazy dispute process? Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you guys can't dispute certain things or whatever. You could dispute whatever you want to, but keep the dispute simple, okay? Which means round one, round two, round three, round four, round five, round six, something like that, right? So you can most definitely do that, okay? But at the same time, it's when you guys start adding all this craziness, to the scenario, like fraud alerts and all the rest of this stuff, okay? So stop doing it that way, okay? Number two, you guys got to understand, when you are disputing something, you're not disputing things because it's just an old account. I've seen people dispute accounts that were positive. It had positive history, okay? But just because it was an old account, they said, "Oh, well, that account is closed. That bank closed, or that company closed. I should dispute that, right?" You'd be surprised. I know a lot of you guys are watching this, like, man, 70% of you all are watching this and saying, "Hey, why would a person dispute that?" But you guys will be surprised. And listen, if you're part of that 30%, it's okay. Just don't dispute that stuff, okay? Anything that has more positive activity than negative activity, I recommend you don't dispute. But if you got like a late payment or something like that, you can start off with a goodwill letter, something like that. As a matter of fact, I'll even give you all a free goodwill letter I'll put it down in the description below, that you guys can download and it's free. It's 100% free. I'll put it down there just to help you guys out, okay? But at the end of the day, again, dispute the payments. If it comes off, great. If it doesn't come off, it's not the end of the world. Remember why? Because you can build around it. Okay. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something. Banks care about things in this order. Number one, they care about your credit score. They don't care how you got there, more so, not more so. Unless you're like a light credit report. Like, for example, if you just have trade lines on your account, or your stuff is too fresh, and you only got a handful of accounts, then that may play a small role. But for the most part, they care more so about the credit score. Then they look at the report. See, if you don't have the score, they're not even going to look at the report. If you're a 300, a 400, if you're in the high fives, maybe you start to kind of get some approvals depending on what you're looking for. But they want to know exactly how that kind of got there. Do you have a strong credit profile. What does it take to have a strong credit profile? About 3 to 5 accounts. Okay. That's typically what you need. Okay. So they look at your credit score, they look at what's on your credit report, and then they go into your income. Okay. And so that's essentially how that process is going to go. And sometimes some lenders, depending, or some financial institutions, I should say, their order is credit report, credit score, income, then credit report. Okay. Because if you don't have the money, ain't no point of us talking. Okay. Because if you don't have the money to pay on time, if you don't have the money to borrow the loan or whatever the case may be, then you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. Okay. And you want to make sure that you are giving the banks exactly what they need to see. But if you keep disputing everything, if you keep making things go crazy and look a certain way, they can't trust you. You guys need to build trust. Okay. I want you guys that are watching this, put trust in the comments. Put trust in the comments. Okay. Because they need to be able to trust you. They have to trust you. If banks don't trust you, they will not give you this money. If banks don't trust you, they will not approve you. If banks don't trust you, they'll give you that loan that one time, but they won't come back around the second time. If banks don't trust you, they won't give you that credit limit increase you're looking for. If banks don't trust you, they won't give you that lower interest rate because they don't trust you. Okay. You got to build trust. You got to build that relationship. All right. Hope this video was helpful. I'll see you on the next one.